One last question.
Yep. Yep.
Go ahead, I can't see. So.
We're a startup brand called Wild Tiger Rum from India, and we're entering the States very soon. And Scott, as you said, we've got all the key ingredients, cracking liquid, fantastic packaging, and an authentic story. But we're a brand from an emerging economy, and we're fighting what we call the provenance paradox. So what does a brand from an emerging economy need to do differently in order to compete with the reputed brands already here and achieve similar price points?
You know, I think there, you know, someone once used a saying that I use. You know, they were so far out in front of the parade, nobody knew there was a parade. And I think there's a lot of that in the wine industry. And to some extent, you know, the market needs to be ready for the product that you're bringing, and that takes a lot of work, actually. Changing the mindset of the wine buying community. Did you say from India? Is that? Yeah. You know, most people do not think about wine from India.
It's actually it's a rum.
Oh, it's a rum. Oh, I thought it was a wine. Okay, rum. Well, that actually is a completely different story. And a very different dynamic. There, I think it is about selling the uniqueness of that story, and people are willing to try that. It's really making sure that your story is very clear, very concise, and articulated very, very well. And if you have those three things, we see a lot of spirits that develop very, very quickly and very, very well if they have those things together. You know, and the one thing I mentioned this earlier on the spirit side now, especially because there's far less consistency, is that bottle. Your bottle needs to represent what you are trying to sell out there. It's inordinately critical.
Okay, I'll take one more. Go ahead.
I just want to ask, what would be your suggested alternative to the brand ambassador investment? Like, let's say I do have a small winery and we have the money that we're willing to invest in to take a market seriously like Florida or California. What would you suggest? Would it be a winemaker in the market for a few months at a time, or what would that be?
Yeah, and Scott quoted the right cost, and you said or more, and when you put it all in, it's easily more. So when you think about that cost, definitely, I'd much rather see at the beginning individuals from the brand coming into the market and spending time in the market. And in too many cases, it's also, oh, I'm on the way to Japan, so I'll just land in New York and spend 30 minutes there. Can you get me a meeting? That's not going to work. You want to individuals that are more tightly connected to the brand, that are part of the founding team, the winemaking team, distiller, if it's a spirit, brewmaster, if it's a beer, that can speak to the brand from their heart. An ambassador, at the end of the day, I'm an ambassador because I'll speak of our brands as if they were mine. But I didn't start it. I'm not involved in the day-to-day operations of a winery, of any of the spirits companies that we represent. So yes, that's what I would put the money. Considering that's a pretty good amount of money, and you can do a lot of trips to the United States with that.
Okay, so we're going to break for lunch. We're going to reconvene at 1:15. And a good segue here is everybody was talking about the importance of storytelling. Kendra Hall is going to come up, and that's her field of expertise. And we think that's a real opportunity for individualizing your programs. So thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. That was great.
Thank you so much.